Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, subscribe is the vibe. You boys on the road to 4K. Humbly. Yo, with everything that's been going on this past week, son, I haven't even gotten time to dissect why Jordan Poole was traded for Chris Paul, bro. It's just the most confusing, lopsided trade I've ever seen in my life. I can only imagine what Jordan Poole going through. Either way, he good financially, but to get punched in your mouth, to get sold out in the playoff, and then to get shipped for old man Chris Paul, Golden State, y'all got some explaining to do, because I don't, like, Jordan Poole 24, Chris Paul 38 on his last leg. But we got my boy Kenny, who's gonna sort of break down what the heck is going on in the NBA, because this trade look lopsided as hell.
What's the word, y'all? We are back. One Take Kenny is here in full effect. We just talked about Porzingis, Marcus Smart, Tyus Jones being traded for each other, and now we got Chris Paul being a Golden State Warrior. This hit us 12 minutes ago. That's how quick we get to the basement and we start the film. 12 minutes ago, and we find out the real details is a 2030 first-round pick that is protected. It is a 2027 second-round pick. It is Jordan Poole, and it is Ryan Rollins. That is the cost of Chris Paul? I don't know how to feel. Now, again, this happened 12 minutes ago. I haven't looked at no forums. I ain't even looked at Twitter other than seeing Shams' post, right? If I am a Warriors fan, I am very skeptical of this, man. This is the first move of Mike Dunleavy Jr.'s tenure as the guy over there after. This is not a Bob Myers move. I'll say that right up front. This is not a Bob Myers move. You traded a young 24-ish-year-old player.
24,
guy
bro.
That might be, well, he's on the last leg. We watched Chris Paul last season. Y'all know Chris Paul is my favorite player of all time. I like this from the Chris Paul perspective. He gets another opportunity to potentially win a championship, that elusive NBA championship. He's playing for a team that's got a lot of those in recent history. But you trade this young player, and I think this might showcase that there's a disconnect between the value us NBA fans might see with Jordan Poole versus what the front office people. Because 4 years, $140 million, even in the moment, if you go watch those videos where we're talking about these extensions between him, Tyler Hero, I think Anthony Simon signed 4 year, $100 million, which is less than that, obviously. We were like, man, this is a lot of money. This is a lot of money. And here we go, a year and two, and I don't even think the contract starts this year. So that 440 is going to Washington right now. And you might have thought that the cost or the value of Jordan Poole would be a lot higher than Chris Paul. But obviously, it's what Chris Paul was about to get waived 2 weeks ago. And okay, take a step back. This is a lot of rambling out of that. If there's one positive of this from the Warriors' perspective, or my perspective as a non-Warrior fan, is that we're about to see the one thing that made me become a real Steph Curry fan was the movement off the ball. And now that they have an additional playmaker with Chris Paul, we're about to see a lot of off-ball Steph Curry, and that's going to be dangerous for the league.
I'll give you that.
The other side of things, you have 6 foot Chris Paul, 6'3" Steph Curry. When those dudes are on the court together, it might be a struggle at that perimeter defense thing. You know what I'm saying?
Not might.
The first move
Not might.
Mike Dunleavy Jr.'s
It will,
man. And I just don't know how to feel. Wizards fans get their first-round pick after not getting one from Bradley Beal or Kristaps Porzingis. It was for Chris Paul. This is how weird the NBA is. This offseason is already going crazy with this trade going down. And now you get Jordan Poole. If I'm the Wizards fans, I feel really good about this. Because it's over the next 4 years of Jordan Poole's career, there's no real world we're about to be right back and take attention. So even if it turns out to be a bad contract or Jordan Poole doesn't hit the next step that maybe you believe he could potentially do, you still got to hit a salary floor. You still got to pay people. And why not take a chance on the dude that we saw a couple years ago be really, really good? I mean, Jordan Poole is a quality NBA player with potential attached to him.
I get it.
And you
I'll give him that. I agree.
You cared about. You were trading or waiving Chris Paul regardless, Wizards fans. So you take this in stride. Now, does this? I hope that this doesn't change their philosophy when it comes to the draft in a couple hours, because I don't want them to pass up on another guard if they believe that guard is the real deal in a couple seasons. But now we got Jordan Poole and Tyus Jones. We don't need another guard, so let's reach for a small forward, a power forward, a center. Draft the best player available in your eyes and let the rest fall into play, because there's no such thing as an untradeable contract, even if Jordan Poole doesn't turn out to be the player you want him to be.
No such thing as an untradeable contract. I like that.
Don't know how this looks. Does Chris Paul become now this super 6-man point guard in the mold of what Jordan Poole is doing coming off the bench? Because I don't see it being great to start off with all of those dudes together on the court. But if we keep the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, Draymond, Loon Dog lineup to start off with, that's dope. And now we can see this third stretch of Chris Paul's career, because he's gone through a lot. He's went through the years where he was one of the best in basketball. Do not forget that he was 4th in MVP in like his 3rd year of his career. Don't you forget. I know you only remember the last couple years of Chris Paul when he ain't been all that. He was like that. And then once he ended up getting traded to OKC, I thought that was like the second portion of his career where he's more of a vet, can also still perform. Obviously, he made an all-star appearance then. And then now he might be transitioning to a dude that comes off your bench to give you high-quality minutes off the bench. But this is a high price to pay for potentially just a one-year rental. We cannot ignore the fact that Draymond Green punched the hell out of Jordan Poole about a year or so ago. So that probably plays a part.
Here's the thing. I would have thought that Golden State would move on from Draymond for punching Poole in the face. Like, Poole, you got to be, I mean, damn, son. Because there's so many ways you could look at it. If you're Poole, you're like, you go from a championship caliber team to a team essentially one of the worst franchises in the league right now. Let's just keep it a bean, with no talent. So now you don't have the luxuries of Steph and Klay, but now you do kind of have the reins of this might potentially be your own team. So it ain't no more coming off the bench. You're full on starter now. 4 years, 140 mil. I wish you would come off the bench. I mean, I need about 25, 26 pronto. But nonetheless, to get punched in the mouth by Draymond, I thought they would have been quick to get rid of Draymond. Not Poole. How I get punched in the mouth and y'all shit trade me? Damn.
It was like, yeah, we just want to wash our hands of that relationship. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Poole was in the air when we were in the NBA Finals and Draymond Green was doing his podcast on the BR app. He had Steve Kerr on one of the episodes, and Steve Kerr was saying he was praising the Denver Nuggets about all of their players buying in and not complaining about the situation. Mostly talk about how like Christian Brown and Bruce Brown spot minutes in particular series, but when we got to the finals, those dudes played great minutes, and basically throwing shots that the young players on his team, it seemed like they complaining a lot. This just doesn't feel like a move that Bob Myers would have done last year. Again, we can't just keep comparing it to Bob Myers, but it hasn't been that long since he left. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very interested to see what else happens with the Warriors.
I don't know too many GMs that would make that move, bro.
As well. I would be very pressed if I was a Warriors fan and we decided to trade the entire future for this one last dance. And listen, Steph Curry deserves it. Like, I've made videos on this channel that you need to buy into Steph Curry while you can, because he's still a top 3 to 5 player in the NBA. Like, he's still that good. And they've tried to do this balancing act of, we're going to develop this young talent and usher those dudes in as Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond start to decline. And even though they won a championship while doing that, those younger players that you wanted to build up didn't play. Kuminga didn't play. Moses Moody played a little bit in that title run. Jordan Poole played in that title run, but for the most part, those younger dudes didn't really get that moment, didn't really get it. I would be very, very surprised if they decided to clean house of all of the young talent in order to compete for a couple more seasons, because I do believe that you want to eventually usher some of those dudes in. And maybe Mike Dunleavy is saying, hey, the guys that y'all drafted here, I don't mess with. I don't think that Kuminga, Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, all the others, Ryan Rollins, are the guys that can be the next chapter. So you know what? We're going to ship them out right now while they got value. Like, I saw a report that the Indiana Pacers are involved with Kuminga or interested in Kuminga. Is it true? We'll see in a couple hours. But this trade, on surface level, though, I'm giving the Wizards like a straight up A. I know, again, it's a lot of money to Jordan Poole, but like, what else are you're paying? You're not going to pay Kuzma, right? You're not, right?
Kuzma's
hey, they
out
might try to bring Kuzma back. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. But you just have money that you need to spend, so why not take a chance on this dude? And again, in a couple years down the line, if it don't work out, you can flip him again. And you got a first-round pick for a dude that you didn't really care about to keep on the team. Chris Paul would say, like, hey, I'm staying on the West Coast regardless. Washington, East Coast. You know what I'm saying? But for the Warriors, this trade is one of the ones that I need to see it on court first before I really feel about. My initial gut reaction to this trade from the Warriors' perspective is I don't really like it. But then again, Steph Curry and Klay moving because there's another guy that could get them into their spots. I'm excited about that part. But again, with the idea of winning another championship, Chris Paul is not in a position of need. Hold on. Chris Hayes, hold on, live. The Golden State Warriors will not waive Chris Paul and is looking forward to partnering with the Star to make a championship run. Was that even a question? When this trade broke, I didn't think, oh, they gonna waive him and do. Hello? All right, let me know what you think, Warriors fans. Please let me know. Y'all don't do big trades like this. This is not in y'all DNA. This is not what y'all normally do. So I'm curious to see what you think. And man,
yo, I mean, he pretty much said everything that I could possibly say. I was confused as hell as to why they would make the trade. The upside is, okay, you have another floor general coming off the bench because you're not gonna start CP3 and Steph. But you have another floor general coming off the bench that could keep the offense going. But to get rid of that youth, that's 24, bro. You got at least a 7-year window of Jordan Poole to potentially get better. He might break into top 50 best players playing right now. That's a lot of potential to put on a 38-year-old who, you know what I mean, he a little long in the tooth. You know what I mean? A little long. You know what I mean? But I'm confused. Listen, man. What is going on in the NBA, bro? For a team like the Warriors, like we said, that don't do trades, to pull off that one, we'll see how this season unfolds, man. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Damn, Jordan. You're probably going to be happy in Washington. Like, now you got your own team, right? Unless they draft someone, and now you're just a role player again. I don't know, nonetheless. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to holler at you guys in the next video. Warriors. Okay, I'm out.